Hello again. I don't know. Hello again. Today we're gonna rant about delivery services, and just made a video about the service in the pro audio industry. So some of these things I will repeat. There is a standard in certain fields, which isn't the standard. All they do is they look at the service of the others and say, hey, we're not as shit as them, so we're good. We're the best among the shitty ones. That cannot be how the world works. And I know that it is how the world works, because if your competition is worse than you, you are better. But that doesn't mean you make customers happy. If everyone makes customers angry, but you make them slightly less angry, is this the fucking world we want to live in? Is this the pride that we want to bring to the job? Oh, everyone's videos are blurry, so my videos can be blurry. Or everyone's audio is shit, my audio can be shit. I don't do that for my YouTubing. I will try, and I'm not the best at anything, but I'll try to provide the best quality on anything, because they're my own standards. So in the IT provider who gets you your internet industry, for the longest time they've all been shit. Whoever is the least shit gets the jobs. Telecom usually is the one that provides the best service, which is a shit service. They're just better than the others. I don't like that. I don't like it at all. Okay, so technically we could be going left here? No, that's not it. Don't even know where that goes. Oh man, so many more paths to explore. Where does this go? I don't know. We're gonna go through my late grandmother's town, and also where my uncle used to live, who we just buried on Sunday. Don't, it's okay. He didn't know who he was anymore, and it had to happen. But still. So, we're going through there. Spent a lot of time there as a kid. Anyway, where was I? So, in the IT world, the best of the worst is not the best. They're still bad. And this is happening now in the delivery service industry. I mean, let's go through a couple. We got, Deutsche Post, so the postal service, state postal service, whatever. Be prepared for that to go down the road and downhill in the US very quickly with what's going on right now. Oh God, political statements. Yeah, whatever, of course, we all know what's going on. Everything's gonna be gutted. In Germany, it's the Deutsche Post. We of course have Hermes, who are now actually delivering for, or Hermes, which are delivering for FedEx. So that's FedEx Express, DHL, which I always thought was a German company, but it isn't. It actually was founded in San Francisco and was just bought by Deutsche Post years ago, but it's actually an American company. I had no idea. So DHL Express and UPS, of course. And I always thought UPS are the premier provider. I always felt UPS is what you use if you want the best service. DHL Express is still okay-ish. I have to deal with their customs quite a bit, but it's okay. Email communication, sometimes someone calls you. Deutsche Post, I'm used to knowing the name of my postal carrier and him ringing the bell saying, "Good morning, Henning," and we chat for a second, and he knows my shit. He knows if I'm not there, put the package here. I don't have to fill anything out anywhere. It was a personal relationship you had with your mail carrier. Your postman, post lady. That's dead. I got a new guy who I just constantly get into arguments with. And I filled out a thing online saying, okay, because he just saw I wasn't there, saw the car wasn't there, which doesn't mean I'm not there, and simply then took the stuff to the post office, where I then had to go and pick it up and stand in line, and it takes an hour out of my day. And then one day I went there, picked up the frickin' package, came home, found another delivery note because he tried to deliver a package right when I was picking up the other package. Well, here's the thing. In the street where I live, we own 6 houses. My mom, my brother, and I together, which means there's absolutely zero reason to return something to the post office. There's always a place where you can return, where you can drop things off, either with me or with Leslie or my brother or my mom or my neighbor. There's always a place to put a fucking package. Well, only if you want to, only if you care, only if you know us, only if you care to have a personal relationship with the people you deliver to. And that comes back to showing pride in what you do. Show pride in the job you do. Don't just go and fucking do your job and don't give a shit. So what I had to do is fill out a thing, leave it outside the door. Okay? Well, if I'm not there, right? Only if I'm not there. That backfired because even if my car is there, if he doesn't have to ring the doorbell and wait 20 seconds for me to open and say hi, then he saves 25 seconds and he will do that. So even if my car is there and I'm clearly home, he will drop shit right outside my door. Whether it rains or the world's going down, doesn't matter, puts it outside the door. I bought a plastic box for packages to go in so that they're safe. We'll still put it outside the door. And I said, why don't you ring the doorbell? Oh, you marked that it's, you place it outside. I'm like, but I'm home. It is in an emergency where I am not home, then put it outside the door. Not always because you want to save fucking time. So then he said, well, then you have to check that online. So, okay, and there's a drop-down menu, very hidden. It's ridiculous. Horsies. There's a drop-down menu and I marked, ring the doorbell first. I marked that and he's still not doing it. So there's now a very strained relationship with my postman. FedEx, I had a great guy, doesn't show up anymore because FedEx is now hiring Hermes to deliver things. Guy's semi-nice, doesn't really speak the language. I'm pretty sure they're getting pennies a delivery, which means they have to make them as fast as possible. So they run, they drop. Fucking pay these people something so that they can have relationships with their district where they deliver things. And I know they don't have to have a relationship, but I mean, the stress of that job, I don't want it. I don't want that job. It's a nightmarish idea to have to run and just drop people's valuable shit in places where you shouldn't drop it. Makes me sad. Anyway, moving on. UPS. Now, UPS used to be the people that we have lots of proof to the opposite, but to the contrary, I think. But UPS used to be the people that they were more expensive, but they delivered on time. They would let you know with emails and notifications. They would, DHL does that better. DHL now does SMSs, which is very good. They used to be the good guys, right? They treated your packages better than others. UPS used to be what you did, what you booked, when you wanted shit to work and arrive, in healthy condition. Okay, so that's not the case anymore. So I just heard from a guitar builder who couldn't go to the Montreux Guitar Show because UPS didn't deliver the guitars that he was supposed to have at the show. So he didn't even go, which means lost travel, lost hotel, lost everything. Lots of money down the drain. Who knows where the guitars are? It's bullshit, right? It's very, very sad. This is the street where as a kid, I rode up and down on my skateboard, listening to the Beverly Hills Cop soundtrack. I spent a lot of time here as a kid because that's where my grandma lived. Feels kind of like home. It really does. Right here, she lived right in this house, right here. It's where my uncle lived. UPS used to be good. There's probably loads of stories, and I've heard stories from the US, I've heard stories from all across the globe from people I work with, and I get a lot of packages. about how shitty UPS has become. Now, I've been expecting a guitar, let's call it guitar, a keytar, a thing. I've been expecting a thing from China. And that arrived in Germany, and I got a thing from UPS saying, hey, can you prove that you paid for it? And I always write, no, I can't, because I didn't pay for it. I make YouTube videos, I actually get paid for these things. I need the product, it's a product for review, so I've got no paperwork. Please apply the customs, which is another word for tariffs. We will pay that, not a problem, but I need the thing. Good times, I did that. Then I got an email, can you provide the paperwork? I already did that, but here it go. Here it is again. I got an email, and they have a new system where we can yet again deal with less people and have less jobs available. An automated online survey system. So you click on it, and in the worst way possible, they try to tell you, oh, I need this information. I didn't even understand what the fuck they needed, filled it out. Oh, thank you, we have now received your thing. Set the website. Guess what? I get another email saying, we need the information. Then I call people. That's the first call. 8 calls in, and 6 weeks of this thing not being on the way from China. No. Having arrived in Germany. So to get through German customs, which is what UPS is doing, the UPS customs office, working with German customs in conjunction, took 6 weeks and endless emails, which in the end they didn't even answer anymore. I wrote in 2 or 3 day increments, hey, could you please give me a status update about what's happening? Did you receive my information? I called. There were people speaking in different dialects from all around the world. Very bad German, very hard to understand. And look, I get zero issue with any kind of immigration, zero. But if you're working on the phone, dealing with Germans, maybe knowing the language well enough to speak it fluently is a good idea. You know, I mean, your whole job is to communicate. So please communicate adequately. Or tell me, hey, switch to English. Nope, nobody did. It was bad. I gave up on it. I wrote to the company in China, I said, this isn't arriving. They said, yeah, we have loads of problems with our shipments. UPS is dropping the ball on everything. We're looking at it from our end. Well, they couldn't. I'm super lucky that my UPS driver, Mark, hi Mark, is amazing. Mark has my private number. Sometimes, for example, they can't finish the route because something happened and they can't make it to my stop. Now, lately, UPS writes you an email saying, oh, it's arriving from 11 to 1. And that usually meant it's arriving from 11 to 1. And then the next email comes at like 2 o'clock. Oh, by the way, we changed the window to 3 to 5. Okay, fine, something happened, not a problem. But that is happening more and more and more. Then the next email is, oh, we're gonna deliver it until the end of business. And then you already know, no, it's not. That's a lie, that's bullshit. And then it doesn't get delivered. This lately has happened over and over and over with UPS. Just making these promises during the day so that, you know, you're at home, you are getting ready to receive the package, you're planning your shooting schedule so that I'm not in the middle of a video when it arrives, all that stuff. And what happens? Bullshit. So Mark said, oh yeah, that has been a problem lately. So what I'm gonna do, Henning, is I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call you in the morning, I'm gonna tell you when I will arrive. Now that is a very, very personal service that my personal UPS driver extends to me because he knows that I'm dependent on certain shipments, sometimes in a timely manner. And then he says, hey Henning, you know, I could make it to you today, but it would really be an inconvenience and take me out of my way because I got nothing else in that area. Do you need that pedal today? I'm like, hey Mark, I'm not gonna get to that. I'm not even gonna open it for another week. Take your time. So we communicate with each other like fucking human beings, like adults. And I know he cannot do that with everyone on his route. You could, if he had a second guy in the car, it would just, you know, hey, it would affect the bottom line. But oh my God, the service that would be. Imagine that service. It's a service that I get from him personally, just because he's a nice guy. And he knows I'm dependent on certain packages. And if I need it immediately, I'm telling him. If I don't need it, that's fine. Then I'll tell him, hey, take your time. So the other day, his buddy was driving, delivering a Vola guitar. And the truck broke down because, of course, UPS doesn't have any money anymore to put into trucks. So the truck broke down in the city a couple of minutes over. He called up his friend Mark because he knows Mark knows me and says, hey, I got a guitar here for Henning. Do you want to call him up? Mark called me up. He told me where he was. I drove over there, picked up the guitar from the UPS driver who was sitting in the air-conditioned van in the heat. And I bought him an ice cream, said thank you, got my guitar. That's the kind of personal service that I get from my UPS guys because they've been with the company for many years and they care about their job. They care about the service. When their bosses don't, when their bosses are knocking down call centers, using AI, hiding phone numbers online, try to find a support hotline number for UPS or anyone. They're hiding them under layers and layers, and then you're like, no, I don't want, chatbot shit. And you have to Google this, you have to use AI to find the freaking phone numbers. So, yeah, UPS is trying to squeeze out, and I'm sure the others as well, they're trying to squeeze out more and more money for their stockholders. And the employees are suffering, the customers are suffering, the customers are fucking furious, shit gets dropped, and they are in no way the premier shipper anymore. Why do you think Amazon has their own shipping now? They have their own, they use many different shipping services, but they have their own. Why? Because that's the way they can guarantee shit to arrive in time. Not necessarily with the best and most polite service. I still think, human relationships matter. But again, they have that. UPS, I'm sorry, UPS, if you're seeing this, and of course, I don't matter to you in any way, but I'm going to have to tell anyone shipping to me not to use UPS anymore. 6 weeks sitting in Cologne because they couldn't get their shit together, and it was up to the customer to call 8 times and write emails. Let's not even talk about pictures and stories online from my friends where you see boxes being smashed and stuff like this and people just don't giving a shit. I know that my friend Mark and his buddy, the people that are responsible for my route, they treat stuff with respect. They treat their customer with respect. They will inform the customer about when they're arriving because they know that their company is dropping the ball. They're picking up the service that the company they work for has saved money on and are not providing anymore. It's sad, massively sad. Oh, talking about internet providers, I signed up with a fiber company. 3 years ago, they put a cable in the street. I still don't have fiber. So I called them up and said, you know what? This is all bullshit. Like, nobody's talking to us anymore. They're not even the people doing it. They're the fifth-party consultant company that hires someone who hires someone who hires someone to actually do the work. So I said, could someone please inform me about the status of the work in my area? When the fuck am I gonna get fiber, which I signed a contract for 4 years ago. They put the cable in 3 years ago. Yeah, so that was 3 months ago that I called them up and said, could someone please give me a statement? She said, yep, someone's gonna get back to you. No shit, 10 weeks later, I get an email. We're about to contact the people that will get back to you on that. So I didn't get an answer. We're about to contact the people that will get back to you on that. Okay? So I just got an email. We were talking 3 months now, whatever, saying, we can't tell you anything about this because we're not working with that construction company anymore. We're in the process of looking for a new construction company, meaning we got fuck all. We got nothing. We got Not even a construction company to do the job. Yet, my contract's been signed. Telecom keeps calling me saying, can we extend your contract? Can we extend your contract? And I'm like, well, no, I signed one with this company. And at some point, they're going to give me fiber. It's we the people. I mean, that's in the US, but still, it's still we the people. It's us. We're the customer. And technically, we have control over how good companies treat us and how good service is. But not if we will accept the shittiest service as the best among the shittiest, right? If we get shitty service and say, well, it's still better than UPS and still better than the postal office and still better than blah, 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 what's going to happen is everything is going to be scaled down to the shittiest shit, and the best person among the shittiest is going to win your bid and your money, your patronage, as they say. It shouldn't be that way. These companies should have a standard that they set for themselves of how good they want service to be and strive to that, not whatever the shittiest shit is. Comment below. I'm pretty sure there will be no positive comments and they will all be, oh yeah, you're right. It's all gone to shit. How do I get out of this town? Well, with that shitty ending and now I'm really mad, animals at the end. Love you guys.
Coalition, another strong man. This story